Hi, welcome back to my vlog. We took a couple weeks off for a summer hiatus, and now we're going to be on for a couple more. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Welcome back from summer hiatus.
Did you work?
No?
Did you make any money?
No?
Did we go on vacation?
No?
Then what are you talking about? Be quiet.
Roll credits.
We've come a long, long way. I'm not afraid any longer. We've come a long, long way. Our love is getting stronger. We've come a long, long way. And the future's looking brighter. We've come a long, long way. Our love is so much tighter.
It's Hollywood's big night, along with the other 364 nights that they need to be so self-absorbed and realize that they are more than just a city. They are an epic icon called Hollywood, and these are the rewards for just one of the many kinds of media of which they celebrate. That's right, this is the 71st Primetime Emmy Awards, no affiliation with the Primetime Emmy Awards sponsored by the Television Academy. This is just two guys who have nothing better to do. I'm Kyle, as you probably recognize me from, well, nothing. But bringing to you the play-by-play, one of the greatest mouths and somebody who watches way too much TV, coming to you from Hollywood East, this is Jason Gill.
Hey, everybody.
Beautiful. We are here tonight to discuss our predictions for the upcoming 71st Primetime Emmy Awards. Are you ready, Jason?
Oh, I was born ready.
Well, before we begin, I would like to announce that this is actually the second weekend of the Emmys. The first weekend was actually last week, except it was only broadcast on the internet. Of the given, I believe, 84 awards, a good 57, 58 of them have already been handed out. Most of them have to do with makeup, hairstyles, and other types of things that people don't fully respect, but we do.
Did you know that I correctly predicted 56 out of 57 of those awards?
That's amazing. I am so glad that you have that sponsorship with Miss Claire. All cheers to you.
I'll get you the video if it's not corrupted.
So I'm assuming that you predicted things like outstanding sound mixing for a limited series or movie went to Chernobyl.
Who else would you give it to?
Or outstanding production design for a narrative contemporary program went to The Handmaid's Tale.
Obviously.
These awards also, that's referred to by Kathy Griffin as the Emmys, also has some celebrities in contention, such as Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series, which went to Luke Kirby as Lenny Bruce in The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Let's begin by looking at this year's list. We have downloaded it from Fanside. Fansided, we just are borrowing from you, wink, wink. And shall we start, Jason?
Please.
So, for Best Limited Series, we have Chernobyl, Escape at Dranamora, Fosse Vernon, Sharp Objects, and When They See Us. Who is your choice for number one?
Chernobyl, obvious, no question. That was an amazing series. I watched the first one. After I saw the first one, didn't have time to watch the second one. The next day, I watched the rest of them. Staggering.
It is an amazing series, and I hope they really don't have a real life sequel. And for that, I am picking that too, despite the fact that it has already won 7 of the Creative Art Emmys. Because sometimes that weighs you down. Either you get Creative Arts Emmys or you get the primetime big ones. But I think it could actually sustain both.
So good.
For Best Drama, we have Better Call Saul, Bodyguard, Game of Thrones, Killing Eve, Ozark, Posse, Succession, or This Is Us. And Jason's pick is
Game of Thrones will win just because, but my heart says Bodyguard.
Really?
I love Bodyguard, but Game of Thrones will win Thrones.
I'm picking Game of Thrones just because it was in its last season of 7 or 8 years, and I don't think it won 1 year. Despite the fact that Game of Thrones has already won awards such as Outstanding Stunt Coordination in a Drama Series, Limited Series, or Movie. And wonderful awards like that. Now, Jason, do you remember when nominations for an award were only 4 or 5?
I do, actually.
And this time we have a phone book.
Yes. They've done it with the Oscars. They've done it with the Emmys now as well.
So let's get to the comedy now. No, I mean like the category. We've already been doing comedy.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, best comedy. Your choices are Barry, Fleabag, Russian Doll, Schitt's Creek, The Good Place, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, or Veep. And Jason's pick goes to...
Again, the winner will be Veep, based on its last season, its pedigree and whatnot. The winner should be, however, Schitt's Creek, because that is a highly underrated, absolutely hilarious show.
Andrea Martin and Eugene Levy, what can you say?
It's just amazing.
It's kind of strange because I picked Veep myself, but everybody from the cast is going to make one big presentation at once. They're going to be giving out an award, the whole entire cast, everybody. I saw this on the notes that everybody, I believe from Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Matt Walsh, Tony Hale, even Sarah Sutherland, Keither's daughter, who played the first daughter, is going to be making an appearance on this one presentation. So comedy will ensue. That's all I got on that one. Okay. For Best Actor Drama, we have a choice of Bob Odenkirk, Kit Harington, Jason Bateman, Billy Porter, Sterling K. Brown, and Milo.
To me, pretty easy. Billy Porter, I think, walks away with this. I mean, as Electra said in the show, you are not on my level. And he is above everyone's level in this category.
I went with Sterling K. Brown because This Is Us. Just because it wins everything anyway.
Well, that is a fair and bold choice.
Did you notice that this was only one of the very few categories that has mostly broadcast television? It has 2 nominees, and you don't see a lot of those from broadcast TV. A lot of cable are on here.
That's very true.
So to believe it or not, broadcast television shows have now become the minority, and I know a little about that. Fixing my fake tie. You look good.
It's not fake. It's real.
I know. Well, it's mostly fake. Anyway. Best Actress in a Drama. You got Emelina Clarke. You got Robin Wright. You got Viola Davis. You have Sandra Oh. You have Jodie Comer. You got Laura Linney. And you have Mandy Moore. And again, notice one broadcast show. Your pick for this is?
The winner will be Sandra Oh. Not my personal pick, but it will be Sandra Oh. I would give it to Mandy Moore just because I like Mandy Moore. But Sandra Oh.
Did you ever watch Arliss?
That's why I don't really like Sandra Oh.
Bingo. I mean, that's why I think that she's not as powerful of an actress. I just read an article yesterday about certain actresses who refuse to appear nude in productions. One of them was Jennifer Gardner. They have a whole bunch of them. Julia Roberts. And one other name that was mentioned in this besides Jessica Simpson, because now they're coming to me, Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore refuses to appear nude. And because of that, I think, who has appeared nude in this? Emilia Clarke. She was naked half the time in Game of Thrones, or so it seemed. So I'm going with her.
I like that you're going 6 levels down on that.
That's all she lets me get. I'm only allowed 6 levels because of a restraining order.
I want to change my thing, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Now I'm nervous.
So just to break up the monotony, did you understand that the best guest actress in a comedy series went to Jane Lynch for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel for the Vote for Kennedy, Vote for Kennedy?
I did not, actually.
Yeah. That was the one you missed.
You can't get them all.
But that was her first Emmy win out of, I believe, 3 nominations. So congratulations, Jane Lynch. Call me.
Yeah, me too. Well, she's got my number, so.
She doesn't have mine. Okay, best actor for our comedy series. You got Bill Hader, you got Don Cheadle, Anthony Anderson, Eugene Levy, Ted Danson, and Michael Douglas.
I mean, Barry is just such an amazingly unique show. And I mean, not to disrespect any of the other nominees, but I feel like it's just kind of a weak field, except for Eugene Levy, who, again, amazing with Schitt's Creek. But I'm going Bill Hader.
Okay. Ted Danson has already won for Cheers. Michael Douglas has already won Oscars. Don Cheadle, I believe, has won a Best Supporting Actor or was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Oh, Hotel Rwanda. Bill Hader, I can't get anybody's HBO code so I could watch HBO Go, so I'm going with Anthony Anderson.
Fair enough.
Even though I probably would go with Bill Hader, but nobody is loaning me their HBO Go password. So it's Anthony Anderson. Best Actress in a Comedy. We got Christina Applegate, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Natasha Lyonne, Catherine O'Hara, Rachel Buchanan, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Like there's any question about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Should it be Catherine O'Hara? Yes, but it will be Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
And I concur with that. Speaking of such, do you realize that obviously she did have cancer and she's in complete full remission from that, but that pushed her production date back a little bit. And the time of release, not the time of production, has to do with when a TV show is considered for contention of an Emmy.
I did not know that.
And why I say this, American Horror Story Apocalypse is not eligible for this year's Emmys. It will be eligible for next year's, even though it's coming out now, or just came out, rather.
Hashtag knowledge.
For example, also, 3 years ago, I believe, Tatiana Maslany won for Black Mirror. Not Black Mirror. Won for Sister Show, which I watched religiously, and I can't think the name of it. Anyway, she won Best Actress because she has to play like 9 different roles in this TV show. And there was a very long hiatus. So she was not eligible for last year when the TV show came out for Emmy nominations, but she's nominated. She could have been nominated this year, even though the show came out over a year ago.
That has to hurt to not be in the minds of the people that vote and viewers.
And the fact that she is a previous Best Actress nominee, and it's Orphan Black. I could not remember that. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama. You got Jonathan Banks, Giancarlo Esposito, Alfie Allen, Nicola Casas-Waldo, Peter Dinklage, Michael Kelly, and Chris Sullivan. And Jason's pick goes to
Peter Dinklage, I think, pretty. Well, you know what? I mean, I almost want to say slam dunkish on this, but he has been so good for so many years that he might be overlooked slightly, but I'm still going Dinklage.
I'm going Giancarlo Esposito, just because he worked pretty much. He's done this is like his 5th or 6th TV show as a regular, and he hasn't gotten any award nominations until now. Well, no, he has gotten 3 nominations, but this is his first chance at really winning one. Plus, I also have a feeling that the Game of Thrones are going to pull each other apart. So go with something that only has 2 wins, or 2 nominations of the group. So that's why I'm going Giancarlo Esposito. And where that takes us to Best Supporting Actress Drama, Leanna Headley, Sophie Tucker, Maisie Williams, Gwendolyn Christie, Fiona Shaw and Julia Garner.
I am going Julia Garner for Ozark. Ozark is a very solid show. I think it's got to get some representation, and I think it's going to be in the form of supporting actors.
That makes sense. She was very good in it, but I'm going with Gwendolyn Christie just because I threw a dart. The thing about this is one of those categories, no broadcast television shows on here. You got 4 HBOs, 1 Netflix, and 1
He is being modest. He is the Air Jordan of Assassins. It is NoHo Hank. Anthony Kerrigan should win. And if he doesn't, it is an absolute travesty.
I have the feeling that the fact that there are 3 different nominees for Barry, they're going to split the vote. I want to go with Alan Arkin because he is a Second City guy. I am a Second City guy. And Tony Shalhoub has already won for Monk. But since I do not believe he's ever won one, or if he has, he's won 1, I'll go with the Mr. Tony Hale, just because it ended.
Tony Hale, very excellent character, underrated.
And finally, supporting actress for a comedy. You got Sarah Goldberg. You got Cyan Clifford. You got Olivia Colman. You got Barry Gilpin. You got Kate McKinnon. You got Anna Chomsky. And then you have the mouthful of Marin Hinkle and Alex Borstein for the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And yes, those are 2 different, but they're crammed together on our sheets because they ran out of space. And Jason's pick goes to... Oh, you are giving us a tease, aren't you? You big tease, you.
Olivia Colman!
Olivia Colman.
She's best.
She is very best.
Talent.
And what was your favorite show that you've ever seen Olivia Colman on?
The one with the guy that was also a doctor on Doctor Who. Broadchurch. Broadchurch was actually my favorite with her. I don't know, man.
The Crown.
No. Broadchurch is my.
My final pick would be Kate McKinnon. Why?
It's a smart choice.
Just seeing some of her character. There was a negotiation that happened about less than a month ago that she agreed to be on SNL for 1 more season. The wind that was sucked out of the room when they thought that she was not going to be on. Granted, yes, they're not going to be a full cast, but at least they don't have any racist people doing their jokes on this year. But sadly, they don't have Leslie Jones because I like my neck stretching looking up at her. Yeah.
I think you're probably right with the Kate McKinnon pick. I just am going British Homer style with the Olivia Colman, but I'm going to say that pick by itself might be the one that wins you this whole deal.
But I will also say that my heartstrings have tugged for Betty Gilpin because, as far as I know, Glow has not won any of the major Emmys. They've won a couple minors here and there, but Glow has been a revamp to Netflix. Not that giant of a revamp because it didn't really go anywhere, but it has brought a new sensibility of comedy to Netflix and thus is allowing more people to enjoy comedy. So if it doesn't happen this year, next year it's going to go to Glow. You're going to see 3 or 4 of them. And for the love of God, please do not nominate Marin. That's all I got. Got anything left on your sheet?
No, I do not.
And my friend with the impeccable timing, We will convene after the awards, and we will find out who won and who is going to eat it.
Well, the only things that I know how to do are to drink and to think. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to lock this up. It's a Game of Thrones quote, by the way.
That was my magic trick. I learned.
I was impressed.
And how will you be enjoying the evening?
Oh, I'm going to sleep.
How are you going to be enjoying the Emmy Awards?
Through all of it. I'm going to sleep through the entire thing. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to fast forward my TiVo through all of it to see only the best parts. Only the parts that I predicted correctly. Anything that I did not predict correctly, I'm just going to skip past because I know it's wrong and it's just a farce. And that's how I'm going to do it.
Okay. And I will be watching pretty much. No, I'm going to sleep too. You're right. That sounds good. Okay, so from Hollywood, let's convene next week and see who wins.
So, who wants to see some wacky pictures I took? This first photo I came across. So, who wants to see some wacky pictures? This photo I took first is of a tape measure I found at Home Depot. And that was actually my nickname in college. I came across this in a parking lot. And of course you're crying, you're driving a Kia Soul. I took this next photo in a parking lot in Glendale. Somebody has to forbid graduates of California educational system from making signs. And now I'm adding a new section to these photos. This is going to be called Things That Debbie Does Not Want Me to Show, and Yet I Show Them Anyway. Boom. This was taken at the local Target. Well, it is good to know that John Bon Jovi is getting out these days. And my final photo of the day. This is a picture of Helen and Rick. They were married this past week and I wanted to wish them a heartfelt congratulations. I've met Rick a couple times and have known Helen for years. For the many, many years that I have known her, she has always been an amazing friend who has helped keep me grounded, and I appreciate her to no end. So I am so happy for you and glad you found each other. And we wish for your love and hope to be shared for many years to come. From both of our loves to yours. And since Helen's probably going to show this to some of her relatives who speak mostly Spanish, este es un foto de Ellen y Rick. Se casaron la semana pasada y quiero felicitarles seriamente. Conocí a Rick un par de veces y conocí a Helen durante los muchos años que la he conocido. Ella siempre ha sido una amiga increíble que me ayudó a mantenerme firme y la aprecio sin fin. Estoy tan feliz por ustedes dos que se han encontrado y decimos que su amor y esperanza se compararán por muchos años más con todos nuestros amor. Anyway, so I will see you guys on the next episode. Until then, de Hollywood. That's a wrap.
How do I shut this thing off now? No clue how to shut it off.
You definitely have to keep this in the end of it, or it has to be on a blooper reel.
No.
future's looking brighter.